Hey everyone, the dialogue here. Thanks for being with me. I really appreciate it. I'm looking at Jane Dawson. This guy here who has been accused, dare I say it, of pedophilia or making pedophilia statements, concerning statements. And I'm here to look, he's a really, really popular YouTuber. For those of you who don't know about him, he's quite massive. But I'm going to look at his body language to see, if he really is heading off that way or if he was just bananas when he said all this stuff. Now, keep in mind this was 6 years ago. Let's have a look.
Like, okay, let me pretend like I'm a pedophile for a second. Okay, by the way, just for the record, police, I have nothing to do with this. I didn't know this. Like, you can literally get arrested for saying this. Let me finish. So I typed in naked baby. First of all, I don't understand why anybody would be turned on by that. But, that's the first good thing you said, but...
Notice his squinting eyes, so he's going, yep, that's what I'm thinking.
They were sexy. I'm kidding. Okay, back to the Instagram.
And right there's no sense of shame as he said that.
So I look at this.
Hi. I wanted to play that clip in full. I mean, that moment especially in full. Just for context. Because that seems to be missing nowadays.
So on the get-go, displeased right there, but also he's really not happy. He's not a happy chappy right here, and you can see that in his demeanor.
I cannot believe that I am having to make this video. I cannot believe that this is happening. I'm going to start by saying I am not a fucking pedophile. I, Shane Yaw, my real name, go on record saying I am not a fucking pedophile.
Okay, excuse the lang. By the way, his face is right in the camera. His eye contact is really good. Okay, so it's right in your face, and he's saying, I did not do this. So he's on the defensive, and he is also saying in your face, I didn't do it. So right now, I'm actually thinking, yeah, he's doing a good job of defending himself.
Got it? Great. There's my statement. Is everybody saying, Shane, make a statement. There's my...
Wide eyes. Wide eyes. Believe me, but it's also a genuine believe me.
Statement. I'm not a pedophile. It's disgusting that people are saying I'm a pedophile because of some shitty ass fucking jokes from 6 years ago on a podcast. Now let me explain a little bit.
Frustration, obviously.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to apologize first. I am sorry that I used to make really shitty fucking jokes.
Okay, so honest. He's being honest. Yes, and the hands come up, and, they can be subconscious saying, look, I do want you to believe me, and there is a sense of piety about me. It can be put on, but with him, because he's on the defensive, it's genuine.
I'm sorry that I was so fucking, insecure and, playing this character, this guy who's crazy and will say anything and tries to make people laugh by shocking them.
Les is being honest about and vulnerable to a degree about his past.
That was my thing. That was what I did on YouTube. A lot of people now don't know that. If you started watching my videos more recently,
tongue through mouth, he's pretty displeased with what people didn't know.
Might not know that, but back in the day, 2008 to 2012-ish, maybe 2013, that was my thing. I thought it was so... I loved the feeling of making somebody shocked and laugh because they couldn't believe what was coming out of my mouth.
And that's what a lot of young people like to do, is they like to shock people. And that's why you've got people like Logan Paul, who does this crazy stuff, who's gotten away with it for many years, and then has to do an apology because of a ridiculous thing he did. Just like Jane Dawson here, also saying ridiculous things about babies.
I wasn't confident enough to make smarter jokes. I was making the easy jokes. I was playing crazy stereotypical characters.
The good thing is he's honest about this.
I was doing shit that was racially insensitive. I was doing shit that was homophobic. I was doing shit that could be considered fat-shaming. I was doing some fucked up, comedy stuff that I'm just not proud of.
Okay, so he's in memory, he's searching, and again he's on the defensive and not quite attack, so he's in defense of himself. So I think all in all, he's actually been quite genuine here, compared to someone like Logan Paul, who I think really wasn't overly genuine.
I have made a serious and continuous lapse in my judgment. I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
Oops, is that Logan Paul? Sorry.
I made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
Notice how he's looking over here to his little notes on the side there. He's just as genuine as the fake Logan Paul you just saw. So that's how I feel about Logan Paul. And here we've got Austin Jones, the young guy who is now facing 30 years in jail for having pornography and eliciting pornography from young followers, where they posted their little twerking shots while they were supposedly semi-naked. Now let's look at his defense. Let's look at his apology video and see what I come up with and what you come up with.
I've recently come under some fire on social media for mistakes I've made in the past. I used to ask fans for twerking videos. Yes, twerking the dance move.
Okay, guys, from the get-go, what I'm picking up from, and it doesn't take me very long at all, I see no sense of shame here. I see no sense of offence and no defensive attitude. So he has a flat affect. Now, a number of people could have a flat affect, from sociopaths to psychopaths, narcissists, a range of people. Even without those diagnoses, people can have a flat affect. Now, this is a big red flag for me with Austin Jones having no sense of shame or bewilderment or can't believe he's in the situation.
It's not something that I'm proud of. It's not something that I think is right, and I shouldn't have done it. This really blew up online when a YouTuber and someone that's very popular on social media somehow found this out and decided to blast it out there. I'm not gonna...
So he's displeased, his tongue came through his lips, and I think the guy is, or was, the name was Philip DeFranco. He's the one that exposed this young guy.
It really blew up online, and sent me down a path that is pretty scary, and I'll go into more detail about this.
So he doesn't seem like he's scared. Again, I say flat affect. There's not a lot going on with this young man, seemingly. Anyway, there could be a lot going on inside, but the clues that he's giving off, the tells, the body language, the micro-expressions just tell me that he's displeased. But again, he's not ashamed of being a part of this thing that he created.
But first, what I want to do is set the record straight.
But he's displeased and disgusted.
Since this started online, there are a lot of rumors and a lot of lies. They're just not true. Nothing ever went further than twerking videos.
Okay, so he had a huge swallow there, and that could be a little red flag for me. Yes, he's got large eyes. Yes, he's looking at the camera, but he's looking away as well.
There were never any nudes, never any physical contact. It never happened.
Contempt right there in his mouth. So he's in contempt of what people are accusing him of, even though there's actually some evidence that he did do this. And now he's talking about planning his suicide, which I have questions about this.
I began researching different suicide methods. I started planning my suicide.
Okay, so he looked down to this side, which is in creation. So that means he's imagining this. Okay, so it could be congruent or not. He could be making this thing up.
It's something I was very, very serious about, and I was determined to do.
Okay, so there's a little bit of head shaking there, so it's not overly congruent. And then he's hiding information right there with his mouth closed.
I finally got home. When we got back, I didn't even step foot in my house. My family took me immediately to the hospital.
Okay, so now he's feeling sorry for himself, or he's trying to make you, elicit from you a feeling of, I feel sorry for him. He couldn't have done this. So I have my questions about Austin Jones. I don't know what's happened to him since, but yeah, I think he's still in jail waiting for a trial. Right, I hope you enjoyed these 3 videos. This is the dialogue. Please like, subscribe, and share, and look at my Patreon page. Cheers.